Hello my lovely Charlotte. First of all, apologies for sending this video today, but I really wanted to dig into what is going on with you, with your data and everything. I actually did a video before this one, but I just lost myself and I don't want you to listen to a 3 hours video. So, 3 things I want you to make to have very clear about this journey is, first of all, this week, so because when you said in here you feel quite disappointed that you actually didn't lose any weight this week, totally fine, because remember that this week or last week, although you were sent, the purpose of last week was for you to portray what is currently happening with your diet, okay? It wasn't by any means to portray a perfect diet, because if you portray a perfect diet, there is nothing that we could work on. However, I know that when people does this exercise, it's the same as when people uses MyFitnessPal. They become more aware of what they're eating just because they've been more mindful of when they are eating. I know that in your case, it's very normal, or maybe it happens, as you mentioned, that you definitely reduce the amount of bread and sugar that you would have. That leads me to the conclusion that oftentimes you might be at work and then you have your tea and your cookies and you might not even be mindful, or you might not even remember, unless I got you doing this exercise, that you had intaken those cookies. Now, the problem is not the cookies, okay? I don't want you to think that cookies are bad. What I'm trying to teach you here is how to optimize the calories that you are eating without obsessing over calories, because I'm not going to get you to track unless you want to learn, but so far I'm not going to get you to track. However, if at some point you decide to track, in your case, it's going to be very easy, especially because you normally eat kind of the same meals, all right? However, I'm not going to get you to track just yet. But 3 things are very important, and it's the fact that, yes, as I said, this week was not meant for you to lose weight. This week was just meant for you to bring awareness into how you are behaving with food. And it was also for me to understand, okay, maybe what switches we can do with the foods that you are eating. So as you were sending the pictures, I was already giving you cues, but I didn't want to give you too many cues, because I wanted precisely to see how a full week of yours will look like, okay? To see if we can actually start making changes. Now, we know, I might repeat myself, but because I already did a video of this to you, I might not remember that if I said it or not. I know that you are someone that is very stressed at work and with life and everything else. You are also still breastfeeding. I have that into accountability. You are cycling every day, training twice a week, and you are also over 40s. So all of these things, I know you just turned 40, over 40, but all of those things will play a role for us to consider when it comes to the calorie intake that you should be having and how we should be distributing these calories. Now, I entered the data as I explained to you on these 2 photos, and in here, this I explained to you on the other video, but I entered the data of 2 days that you have eaten, of the 2 days that you have showed me on a weekdays. I haven't considered weekends yet, because what we're going to do, I'm going to keep you accountable on the weekends. So on the weekends, you're going to keep sending me the photos, just because I know that if you have to send me the photos, you will behave better over the weekends. And it doesn't mean that you cannot drink, because look, this weekend you had your drinks, but you balance really well the fact that you were drinking and then having better, smarter choices of meals, instead of going for kebabs, instead of going for fast foods that we know that they just make you feel bloated, especially when you have alcohol with them. They're not going to make you feel great. So I'm not saying that you won't be able to eat them forever, but if you really want to feel good and you really want to feel proud of yourself for the holiday weekend that you have, bikini holidays that you have, we need to make an effort, okay? So 3 things that I want you to have clear. 1, I'm not going to get you to do things extreme, and I don't want you to start having the connotation of bad or good foods. But what we need to really be clever at is how to use what we are eating in a better way, so that it's going to help you to help yourself feel fuller for longer, and maybe it's going to help you doing some switches when it comes to food volume, so you're not wasting your calories on something that is going to have a lot of calorie content but not a lot of volume in your stomach. For example, cheddar cheese. That would be one of the things that I will say, do not cut for good, but have maybe more moderation when we have cheddar cheese. So that's why I ask you, do you use cheddar cheese just for the menu of this day or this week, or do you use it quite often? So now for you to understand what I'm talking about, I entered into MyFitnessPal here. I did 2 days. So I did a day that you did last week, and I did your day from yesterday. So on your day from last week, we had you. I took as an example the day, sorry, I just mix in here, but I entered your lunch or breakfast and your breakfast and lunch. But I entered, I used the day that you had, okay, so this day represents this day in here. You had your eggs and bread and clementine in the morning. Then you have your almonds and blueberries as a snack. Then you have your eggs, toast, cheddar, cheese, and beans. And then you have pasta, parmesano, beans for dinner. And then you have your magnum, okay? So I enter the data into here. And that shows me that for your breakfast, you were good. So this is something that I explained before in the other video that I did. So for us to have an optimal absorption of protein, we need to provide the body with in your case will be breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, with 5 meals. Those 5 meals needs to have a content of protein, okay? So we need to have good stimulus of protein around the day with the meals that you eat. Why? Because we know that protein is the building blocks of muscle mass, and also when we are trying to lose weight, and someone that is over 40, even more important from now onwards for you to take this with you for life. After 40s, and even more after the menopause, our ability to retain lean muscle mass gets lost because of our hormonal changes. So we definitely need to increase the amount of protein that we eat, for not only for us to lose weight, but for normal health, for you to be able to retain the muscle mass that you have built before your menopause. I know you're years away from that, but it's good to start getting into the habit of that. So what I'm trying to say with this is that when I tracked that day, it got me that you are eating 70 grams of protein and 65 grams of fat. Now, the calorie itself is not a big deal because you are in a very good range of calories for your energy activities or for the energy expenditure. But the things that will make a big difference in how you feel will be start increasing the protein. We just need one more serving of protein on your day, because we started fixing it from yesterday, and reduce the fats that you are eating, especially the fats that in this case came from the cheddar cheese. So as I was showing you, I tracked the day that you had your eggs in the morning, this, then that, and that gives me that you had this amount of calories. I didn't enter the green, so that will give me around 1,500 something, which is a very good calorie for you to be at, okay? However, things that I will change from here will be not using that much cheddar cheese, because as you can see here, cheddar cheese has, yes, it has very good it has very good protein content, but also the fat is extremely high. And then what happens is here, if you see the 50 grams portion of cheddar cheese, it's not a big deal. Like, you can have that in a bite and it doesn't make you feel full, but it represents a lot of calories. Instead, if for example, if we change that for, I don't know, mozzarella, or if you change that for a portion of Greek yogurt, okay, that was your lunch, so that wasn't your breakfast, I'm just thinking of your breakfast. Or if instead of having the cheddar cheese, you then have your bread, you have the beans. So this is the thing. So what you were having for protein that day is actually, I mean, that lunch was actually not too bad, because it has the numbers that you need. So it has 25 grams of protein, it has 18 grams of fats, it has 38 grams of carbs. So I will rather say that it's a good lunch, a kind of like low carb. It's a very good lunch, let's say. What is not good is that it's not good in terms of volume. So it is a good lunch in terms of numbers because it's giving you everything you need, but in terms of volume, that's maybe why you might be feeling hungry. However, it's not a big deal. All right, what I'm trying to make even sense of my head, because you know what you are eating, and when I actually enter that into numbers, there is a very good video on the main meals of protein, carbs and fats. The only thing that maybe we went a little bit higher, that was the dinner. And even though I told you don't mix the beans with carbs, because you can see here beans in reality they don't have that much fat, that much protein. You have the same protein in pasta. So in here you were kind of mixing two carbohydrate sources, and then that would be the fat source. So in that case, because you already have eaten beans in here and then you're eating beans in here, I would much rather you to go for a protein source that is actually more protein than carbohydrates. Okay, that will be the only switch that I will do in your case in these days. So I also entered what you had yesterday, and although the calorie content was pretty much the same, it was a switch on the fat intake just by a few grams. Yeah. Now I'm not gonna give you hard time on this. The only thing that I will say is what we need to make sure is three things: that we are able to provide yourself with small meals, because look, I was thinking something different before entering this in data. I was, okay, she's eating too much cheddar cheese. That's an opportunity for us to cut calories, and maybe she could eat more rice instead of cheddar cheese, and that will make her feel fuller. But at the same time, I understood that you like eating small portions more often because it might fit your lifestyle better, because also you don't want to feel too full before going into class or anything like that. So I don't particularly see anything bad with what you're currently eating. We just need to do two changes. And the changes are that you commit yourself to not binging, or not binging, sorry, that's not the word. Not snacking or not rushing into snack a cookie with a tea before putting anything in your mouth. Always ask yourself, is this aligned with what I want to do? Reason being is that the cookie per se is not bad. Like having a cookie is not bad. But what makes it bad is that if you start having one cookie, then you had another cookie, then you had another cookie, with the time you will not be conscious of these extra calories that you are eating. And it's not so much about the extra calories, it's also about the cascade of glucose that these small snacks bring into your system. So every time the reason why we like to have complete meals around the day is also to be able to manage the glucose in your bloodstream. So we know that when we have a meal, the insulin spike, yeah, and then it will drop, and that's when we feel hungry again. We have another meal, it spikes, it drops. However, when we are able to provide the body, in your case, let's say we're gonna have 5 meals, because you wanna have breakfast, you wanna have mid-morning snack, you wanna have lunch, you wanna have mid-afternoon snack, you wanna have dinner, and then you wanna have another snack. So whether we decide to go for 5 or 6 meals, this is what we need to make clear. Because if you then find yourself hungrier and then you decide to snack just an apple, what's going to happen is that your insulin is going to spike, and instead of helping you to go through the next meal, you're actually going to feel a lot hungrier, just because your insulin is spiked, but you didn't have any protein or any fat to help that insulin don't go too high and then don't drop too low. Because when you eat just the apple, is when your insulin spike. But if you would have eaten for example, you eat an apple with a Greek yogurt and 15 grams of almonds, that will make your insulin spike less high, and then it will drop less low. So you will be able to manage your hunger around the day a lot easier. So just to make this clear, because I know I complicate it too much as I I always do, but I just wanted you to understand my thought process. So it wasn't really any big difference between the day that you had your bread and your beans and your basically it wasn't any major difference between those 2 days. If you decide to keep going with the Greek with the cheddar, you can actually make a good meal out of the beans, the cheddar, and the toast. What I would love for you to do is actually not. I mean, I know you do it in this way because it's easier for you to plan, but it will be nice if we could, for example, if you're going to use cheddar, then make sure that you just use cheddar in one of the meals of the day, and then you don't use any more cheese, so we don't have more fats coming from lactose form. And so that will be my correction in there. When you are gonna have a pasta, don't have beans with pasta, because as you can see now here, I'm showing you the beans. So the pasta, no, this is the day that you have the tuna. So this is the difference. This is the day you have the pasta, yeah, and this is the day that you actually had the tuna, because the pasta has some protein, and then the tuna has some protein. So you see the difference. So that is I'm gonna show you here. Here we can really portray. So in here you had it hasn't changed, sorry, 1 second. So this was the night that you had the pasta and your beans. I only put 100 grams of beans. I know a half cup of beans because I don't think you have more than that. But that half cup of beans, as you can see, is only 7 grams of protein, and it has more carbohydrates than protein. So this is basically what I wanted to point out. We need you. So you have a very good, after me doing all of this and after me making you making you stay with me 16 minutes of your day, what I came to conclusion is that you have a really good way of building your meals naturally, in a way that you will provide yourself with protein on every meal, on the 3 main meals of your day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What we need to improve is the snacks. So on the snacks, we currently got you with 200 grams of berries and almonds. My suggestion was the following will be, so on the Magnum that you having at 9 before bed, that Magnum, either you love it and you want to keep it, or we can find a replacement of that snack. And if you want to find a replacement, I can give you what I snack every night, which is basically Greek yogurt with half of a protein, a spoon of chocolate, and it doesn't taste like a Magnum, but it has a better macro breakdown that we could focus later on. For the moment, just leave the Magnum, but be aware that the Magnum has already 12 grams of fats. So those 12 grams of fats is quite high for just one mini dessert. Okay, remember that the fats that we want to consume, mainly we want to make them come from good sources, so like avocado, almonds, the olive oil, the fats that, and I didn't even enter if you cook with olive oil or anything like that. So that will drive our fats to be higher. So this is why if you want to keep your Magnum at night, we can keep it only and only if we commit not to have any other chocolate or any other sugary snack in the day, but instead we're just gonna have a very good day of full meals and the snack, and then just have your Magnum at night. So the way we can structure, like for example, how you did yesterday. So this is your day yesterday. The only thing that we will far away from is just one extra portion of protein. So my suggestion is the following: you had an apple between your breakfast and your lunch yesterday, and then you had your raspberries and your almonds here in the afternoon. What if we then go for this Skyr Greek yogurt? That is Skyr Greek yogurt is amazing because it has a very low fat. It actually doesn't have any fat, especially if you go for the natural flavor. It doesn't have many carbs, and it has 20 grams of protein. So that itself will be an addition of a meal that will already straight away fix our protein intake for the week, for the day. sorry, I want you to be on 100 grams, 100 grams being the lower end of the protein that you want to consume. And what this is gonna do long term, you're not gonna feel it straight away, but what this is gonna do long term, as I explained to you, is gonna help you manage your blood glucose, the glucose on your blood. Why do I get confused? It's gonna help you manage the blood glucose response after every meal, and then long term, along with you focusing yourself that this is not a diet, you need to enjoy the process, you're just doing it for your own sake, you are eating good amount of food, you're just organizing the way you eat. Ultimately, this is gonna help you feel better about yourself. So once you start seeing the ball rolling, and once you start feeling better in your body, you will by default feel a lot easier. You will feel that all of this seems a lot easier. Okay, now it's 20 minutes of this video. I have done it 2 times, trying to be very concise on what is it the things that I want you to implement. So the things that I want you to implement are the following. You have a very good knowledge of how to build a meal that has carbohydrates, protein, and fat. However, whenever we are using a carb source, then we combine it with a protein source that is going to be higher in protein than carbs. So for example, if you're going to have beans, then don't add the bread, just have a bigger portion of beans, and that would be your protein and your carbs. However, as you can see, for you to have all protein from beans, you will need to have a lot of beans. So in this case, I will use beans more of a carb source than a protein source. Yes, they do have protein, but as you see, they have almost as much protein. This doesn't go back, it's so annoying. They have almost as much protein as the pasta has. So if you look at beans thinking that they are protein, you are looking at them the wrong way. Look at beans as carbohydrates more than anything else. Okay, so every time you build a plate, that is going to be the source of carbohydrates, the source of protein. This protein can have some fats, like for example the eggs, but if we already had eggs in the morning, if we already have, for example, chicken thighs at lunch, like you had yesterday, chicken thighs are higher in fats, then having tuna for dinner, that was amazing. And if on top of that we add the skyr, and you can either split, like for example, if you cut the apple, you put the raspberries, you put the almonds, and you put the skyr with a little bit of honey. You mix that. You make 2 snacks out of 1. So if you need to snack between your breakfast and your lunch, you have that. If you need to snack after your lunch, then you have the other half. Or you can, for example, have the skyr with the apple. And if you can put some honey because you want to have some sweetness as in one snack, and then you can have your almonds and your raspberries in the other snack. But the reason why I told you to mix everything is because if you make all of that as 2 snacks, then you will guarantee that you will provide yourself with some protein in every snack. However, because this snack is not a massive deal, so I just wanted you to try to add some variety so you don't feel like you are eating the same. However, by the end, we all end up just eating the same. So again, I say, make sure that in every meal we have a protein source that is a protein and a carb source that is carb. And if you're going to use beans or if you're going to use any other source of protein that is higher, or whether that is fats or carbs, then see it as a carbs or fats. Don't see it as a protein. I want you to start looking for more lean ways of getting the protein. That's, for example, the tuna, chicken breast, like more. I will send you the list because I don't have them all on top of my head. And in that way, we will guarantee we can have definitely the magnum at night, but we will make an effort to also ask yourself anytime you are feeling hungry, am I really hungry or I'm just nervous? Am I really hungry or I'm just bored? Because at the beginning, you might have to go through feeling the hunger for the first week or 2, but once you have make sure that you have your meals in place, you will not feel the hunger that you are feeling right now, especially because your mindset around what you're doing has to change. I don't want you to say, I will see if I can get through this. Yes, I can get through this. It's just a few hours. I can definitely get through this. I can wait to the next meal. Okay? So This is a very long video, but literally I just wanted to give you as much insight of your diet as I could. Just to say that we are doing good. We are gonna keep yourself weighing yourself. I'm gonna send you another video. First, try to digest this. See if you have any questions from this. It's very long, I know, I'm sorry. You might have to listen to this 2 times. See if you have any questions from this. But the biggest takeaways is we need to organize your snacks in a way that we are not reaching out for cookie. It's not the fact that you're gonna eat the cookie. You might think, yes, the snack has more calories than the cookie, but long term, having structured snacks and having structured meals is what is gonna help you to keep going. And as the week goes by, when Thursday and Friday comes in, you are gonna feel more the need of reaching out for that chocolate, but you're gonna keep yourself accountable and you're gonna have your snacks ready, so you're less likely to reach out for that chocolate. And again, it's not the fact that the chocolate is bad, it's just that if we implement this properly, this is gonna help you yourself and your body to start getting rid of that excess weight that is making you feel uncomfortable. So again, I wanted to give you as much insight as I could. Hopefully this is clear. I'm gonna send you another video, very short video, once you have seen this one, on the takeaways and how I'm gonna keep you accountable by weighing yourself on at the mid of the week and at the end of the week, so we keep ourselves accountable on the body fluctuations that happen on the weekend, and we're gonna continue with photos on the weekend. Okay, enjoyed. Hope this was clear. I send you the link for the skyr or Greek yogurt that you can add into your meals, and that will give us a very good protein intake. And have faith on this. It works. You just need to focus and you need to believe that it works. Okay, bye.